Hello everybody, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to do a soft glam makeup look, and it's going to be taking you through a 15 to 16 step tutorial. I will be including timestamps right here just so you can get like a gist of where everything is, and just in case you ever need to go back into the video and see which step that you feel like you missed, there you go. I'll also be including pictures, and I'll also be following along with you, showing you how I do the steps and how to like go through the motions into achieving this look. You can always use different colors. I'm going to put that out there right now. You can always use different colors. With eyeshadow, I just went with like a natural brown and like a dark brown to kind of give that smoky effect. Personally, you can use bright colors, very dark colors. It does not always have to be this specific look. And with lashes, your lashes can always be a different length, be a different thickness, porosity, and so on and so forth. It does not have to be exactly everything. This will bring us into step 1. Here's the timestamp. Which is going to be washing your face. I cannot stress this enough. You are going to want to wash your face before you do your makeup. You've just woken up or you've been running around and you're about to put on makeup. You now have dirt and gunk and sweat and oils all in your face, and that will lead to buildup and can cause acne. It's not necessarily something you want, because I know no one wants acne. And with that will lead us into our second step, primer. Now with primer, it helps to make your makeup last longer. It can also make your makeup matte or very dewy. It also depends on how you lay your powder and stuff, but we'll get into that in the next step. I personally do not have primer, so I'm gonna let one of my favorite TikTokers show you how it's done.
This primer is such a waste of money. It doesn't even keep my makeup on. Hi Fred Flintstone, are you trying to start a fire? You're wondering why your primer is not working when you should be praising God that you don't have carpet burn. You don't need to be rubbing your primer into every follicle in your skin. Primer is meant to be just one thin layer on top of your skin. It's not actually meant to be rubbed in. It's meant to just be placed on top so that your makeup can sit smooth and last all day. And this is my makeup after 8 hours.
Which now brings us into our third step, which is going to be foundation. Now foundation helps to make sure that you cannot see any dark spots, hyperpigmentation, or any type of uneven skin that is on your face. It helps to make all your skin look even from your neck to your face and helps it blend seamlessly as you go. So here you want to make sure that you don't drag. You want to pat it into your face, making sure it spreads evenly. Notice how the foundation is covering the really dark spot that was on my face. Feel free to rewind if you did not see it. I did end up using 2 different shades on each side of my face to show you how differently cream and liquid blend out. Something you also want to note is that as I'm putting on my foundation, I am avoiding my under eye area. You always want to avoid the under eye area whenever doing foundation because that is where your concealer goes. You also want to make sure whenever you're doing your foundation that you blend down to your neck. You do not want your neck and your face to be 2 different colors, because then you just walk around looking like E.T. And with that, leading into our fourth step, which will be concealer. Concealer is used whenever you want to get rid of dark under eye bags right here, or tiny spots along your face, which would be right here, and right here for me, personally. You'll use it to kind of eliminate it and make your makeup blend in a little bit more seamlessly. Now, with concealer, people normally try to go for a shade that's a little bit lighter, like 1 or 2 shades lighter than their foundation, because it also helps to make your under eyes look brighter and more alive, and also helps to make your eyes pop. Now, you can also have concealer that is exactly your face shade for like those days where you don't want to wear makeup, but you also don't want to be walking around with dark under eyes. With concealer, you want to be very careful with how much you add. You want to add it right on the inner corner and on the outer corner, just enough to cover it up. You want to make sure that you have a full coverage concealer that will cover up any dark spots on your face, especially whenever you're going under the eye, because that is typically where eye bags start after not sleeping for a good while or from lack of sleep. And when adding concealer, you also want to add some on the outer corners of your mouth and on your chin, and a tiny bit on your T-zone. And then you want to buff it out, blend a tiny bit, but then from there you just want to buff it out so it blends seamlessly into the foundation. You want to bring it typically closer to the outskirts of your eye, because that's where you will start to form the shape for your eyeshadow. You also want to buff out the rest of your face too. Which brings us into our fifth step, which will be eyeshadow. Now, eyeshadow has many layers and components to it, but the thing you want to remember is always start out with the darkest color to the medium color to the lightest color. And when doing that, you want to make sure that you blend out the darker shade with the lighter shade. You want to take a fluffy brush and blend it out slightly. You want to pack it on first, and then with the next brush, you want to take a lighter color and blend it out very nicely and fine to where it looks kind of like the smoky eye kind of effect. And then after you do that, you now want to bring a lighter color and take that very light color and brush it out onto the medium color and the light color, because it will cause it to more blow out and look more nice on the eyes. So from here, you're going to see that I'm using a very dark brown on the outer corner, because that will help bring that smoky effect to life. And I'm also going to try and make it at the tail at the closest shape to what I want my eyeshadow to look like. So since I'm going for like that snatched look, I am buffing it out to kind of a triangle oval shape. And I'm going to continue to kind of pack that on so we can get as dark as a pigmentation as possible. Next, I'm going to go with this medium shade brown, and from there I'm going to buff it out on top of the darker shade, because that will help to blend the darker shade out into the shade that I want. And then I'm gonna go in with a very light brown. So I mixed a cream brown with a very light brown and blended it on top of all of it to make it look a lot more matte instead of it being greasy. And notice as I blend, I'm being very light-handed with it, because if you are very rough, you will cause irritation to your eye, and that can lead to an infection if the eyeshadow does manage to get into your eye in a massive degree.
Which now brings us into step 6, which is going to be eyeliner. Now with eyeliner, I beg you to listen to me very closely on this one, because most people who try to do eyeliner, it looks like a blob on the side of their face, and it kind of gets the shape that you want to go for, but it's not always the right shape. Now, I'm not saying that your eyeliner always has to be a triangle out in the corner, but for the look that you are trying to achieve, you want to start off with a wing liner. And with a wing liner, you want to start out with making a line in the general direction that you want. And then from that point, start from the outside of the eyeliner and bring it inward towards your eye. Bring it close enough down to your eyelash line to where it forms a triangle going this way. And then from there, you can fill it in as you go, so that way it's easier. You can also always buy a stamp eyeliner, but that is not always going to be 100% accurate with the shape or the length that you are going for. Now, if you want lashes on, I suggest you go like a little bit farther out just to make sure you can still see it, because if you go for a small liner, it is going to not be as visible as it would be if you would have done like a longer liner. I'm not saying go thicker, I'm saying go longer, so that way you can see it better as you put on your lashes.
This is future me just putting in my 2 cents. Your eyeliner is not going to be the same on each side. It's just not. I've learned from 8 years of doing my own makeup and struggling to try and make it the exact same size. It never will be the same size. Human eyes are very lopsided and can be very weirdly shaped. So it's never going to be the exact length, the exact size, or the exact same anything. You just have to be okay with that. If it looks close enough, it is good enough. So in doing eyeliner, you want to start off with one line. You want to go down to your lash line and start to drag it across. Then going to the outside, slowly pulling it inward. And then you want to see where you stop your line and drag it inward to make a full wing. Same going for the other side. Just slowly drag it from the outer corner to the inner corner, and then fill that in as well. Make sure you stay as close to your lash line as possible. And remember, we are going for a triangle shape.
Now brings us into step 7, which is going to be mascara. Now with mascara, you want to be very careful because you're putting this in your eye. It is meant to go up through the lashes and meant to make your lashes look more visible, because yes, black lashes can be visible to the human eye sometimes, but if you want it to be very dark, then you are going to want to go over it like once or twice to also make it longer and look more full.
Now with mascara, you want to be very, very careful. You want to twist the brush as you're pushing it through your lashes, while also avoiding putting the tip near your eye, because it will hurt a lot if you do manage to poke yourself in the eye. Now, make sure to go over it like once or twice maybe 3 times if you want to go for a bolder, more fuller lash. Same with the other side. You want to curl it as you pull, and also make sure to angle it properly so that way you can also get those lashes on your very inner corner of your eye. And remember to keep your eyes open during the process so you don't manage to get it all over the bottom part of your eye. I will also say, if you are putting on lashes, you can skip this step if you want.
Which brings us into step 8, which is going to be blush. Now with blush, depending on how pigmented your blush is, you want to be very careful with how much you put on. With what I put on, it was actually the perfect amount because the applicator was not that big. And with your blush, the applicator is also not that big. So you're going to put like 3 drops max on your face to make the blush actually pop and look like it's there, because it is meant to bring a little bit more color after adding on concealer, foundation, like just to make your face look more lively and not ghostly pale.
Now for blush, you want to be very, very, very sparing, especially because this blush is very pigmented. I would say the designated amount to use is 2 to 3 dots maximum. For you, I would recommend 3, just because it will be a lot more pigmented and it shows up a lot better on darker skin tones. And with blush, you also want to be really light-handed because you also don't want it to blend away. You also want to make sure you spread it all over the top of your cheekbone because it leads to more of a seamless finish.
Which now brings us into step 9, which will be highlighter. Now highlighter is more just to bring like a slight glow to your face in certain high points, which can be right here on the cheek or on the nose or even on above the eyebrows, just to make your face show in the sun like a little bit of a brighter point to make it kind of like a glow.
Now, same with the blush, you want to be very sparing with the highlighter because this is very shiny and it can also take over the blush that you put on your face. I use the side of the brush to tap it in and make sure to blend it very evenly because the dots will show up a little bit. On the other side, buffing it out as I blend.
Which also brings bronzer. Now bronzer is more to make your face look more warm tone.
Now you want to add bronzer. Now bronzer is used to make your face look more warm and glowy, which helps out the blush and the highlighter to an immense extent. You want to blend it on your temples and your cheekbones, and you also want to add it a tiny bit on the nose and the sides of your nose before you contour. You just want to buff it a little bit. Bring it from the temple down to the cheekbone, cheekbone, temple, cheekbone, temple. Just repeat that step like once or twice as soon as you get the desired look that you're going for. You also want to put a little bit on the jawline just to make your jawline look a little bit less like you have a double chin. It also helps the blend from the face to the neck look a lot more seamless.
is different from our next step, which is contour. Contour is more used to like make your nose appear a little bit smaller, make your cheekbones look very defined, and to basically make your face look more snatched.
With contour, personally with contour, I just put a tiny bit on the bottom of my nose, top of my nose, and then on my bottom part of my cheekbone, going like a
Now, which brings us into step 10, which is going to be lashes. Now, lashes are more used for dramatic effect because you can always just wear your natural lashes with your makeup. But whenever you wear something more big and bold, you want to have lashes on because it makes it look more out there, more of a pop into the world. The next step is going to be step 11, which is going to be lip liner. Now, lip liner is more used to make your lips look more bold and out there whenever doing your makeup. Bima, he'll be fine. And all cannot be done without lip gloss or lipstick. You can always choose depending on what type of look you're going for, whether you're going for glossy or whether you're going for matte. Now, if you want your lips to look very shiny and more of a statement, you can always add lip gloss on top of lipstick, which is what I normally do. But for the sake of this, that's what we're going to do. Which brings us into step 13, which is going to be press powder. Now, press powder is used to get rid of creases in the eyes and to get rid of any greasy looking parts of your face. So you would more apply that here, here, right here, and down here, and a little bit up here, just to make sure that any makeup that looks very shiny is kind of mattified. Which then slides us into step 14, which is going to be setting spray. Now, setting spray is used to make sure all your makeup is sealed and like will last on your face, which also helps with the primer that we were talking about a few steps back.
When spraying setting spray, you want to spray it all over your face, slowly misting. And then towards the end, you want to go ahead and fan it. And just like that, we're done. And this will be the final result.
And with that, we're done. I'm very happy to have had this opportunity to show y'all how to do glam / natural glam makeup. This is one of my first tutorials on how to do makeup, and I gotta say, it's very nice that I get to do this for you, and I get to show you all my tips and tricks on how to do
with that,
makeup.
we're done.
That I've learned.
Let's show the final
over
look.
the last 8 years. 8 years. It's been 8 years. And it's just very exciting. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy. And if you missed anything, feel free to go back. Here's a list of timestamps, just in case you need to go back. I'm also going to have them at the beginning of the video, so you can also kind of skip through and see. But, yeah. Bye.